Hello, beautiful learners. Hopefully, you're doing great, and I'm also good by the grace of Almighty. So, it's our day 26, and we are going to practice another IELTS listening practice test with answers and proper explanation. So, before going to start our class, I need to check whether the sound is good or not. Then I would start it. Okay, just give me a few seconds to check out the sound quality.
You will hear a number of different recordings, and you have to answer questions on what you hear. There'll be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played.
Okay, I hope you can hear me as well as the audio effect. And so let's listen the instruction as he was saying. Okay, let's listen it.
Only once. The test is in 4 sections. All the instructions you have to answer questions on what you hear. There'll be different recordings, and you have to answer questions on what you hear. There'll be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played only once. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a man and a woman. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10.
So I hope you got the instruction as he was saying. Okay, now we need to read this instruction. Okay, so it says that no more than 3 words and or number. Okay, so for each answer, so that means we are allowed to just write 3 words. Okay, not more than. Okay, let's move on and let's look. Okay, so here it's for the question number 1, the keyword we choose this one. Okay, surname. We just need to listen it so that we can hear the surname. Okay, let's move on.
Hello, I'd like to become a member of the gym.
Certainly. Have you filled out an application form?
Not yet. Do you have one?
Yes, I've got one right here. Or I could just enter your details directly into the computer. It would be quicker.
Okay, go ahead.
Could you tell me your name, please?
My surname is Pierce, Pierce, and my given name is Sharon, Sharon.
Thank you. And
So I hope you got the answer as she was saying. My surname is Pierce. Okay, so that's why it would be Pierce. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Address. Let's highlight this one. Okay, and let's listen it like blah blah Tipton TP3 4MB. Okay, let's listen it.
your address?
70 Welcome Lane, Tipton, TP3, 4MB.
Okay, she was saying 17 Welcome Lane. So the answer would be 70 Welcome LCU and welcome Len and Len. And she was also saying Tipton, TPO, like something she's saying. Okay, so we don't need to listen it for. Okay, now let's look it for question number 3, date of birth. Okay, let's highlight this one. Let's listen it.
Could I just note your date of birth?
13th of July 1980.
Are you just a
13th of July 1980. So the answer would be 13th July 1980. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Amount due. Let's try. Okay, so it's, don't be confused, it's pound sign. Okay, it's not dollar sign, it's pound sign. Let's listen it.
applying for membership of the gym, or would you like to join the health spa as well? There's a special price of £50 a month, or £130 for 3 months.
I'd just like to join the gym, thanks.
Okay, that's £20 a month, £50 every 3 months, or £180 a year.
I'll pay for the year.
Will you be paying?
Okay, she was saying she will be paid for year. So as he was saying, for per year it's 180 pound. Okay, don't be confused, as he was saying a lot of things like 20 pound and 50 pound. Okay, uh, but at the last the lady was saying I will pay it for year. So, and he was saying, the man was saying that per year, like you have to pay 180. That means the answer would be 180 pound. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Expired date. Let's highlight this one and let's listen it.
Paying by credit card?
Yes, here you are.
Thank you. Card number 467397020361. Expiry date September 2009.
Expired date September 2009. So September 2009 means September September 2009. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Here's the another type of question. We have to listen. Let's listen it. Label the diagram of a gym using four of the following 6 label. Write the appropriate letter in the correct space on your answer sheet. Okay, so let's read them. Free weights area, ladies changing area, men changing area, refreshment area, and treadmills and various machines. Okay, let's minimize this one. Okay, I hope you can see. Okay, now here we can see its receptions and this one is main entrance. And here we can see also stairs and sauna 8, swimming pool, stairs 7, 6. So here is 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we have to fill up this gap. Okay, so remember, here is the entrance. Okay, it's left and it's right side. Let's minimize it.
Okay, I'll just print out a form for you to sign and...
Great, thank you. Could you just show me around very quickly?
Certainly. Mike, could you take over here for a few minutes? Come this way. Right by reception, we have a refreshment area, serving healthy food and drinks. No coffee or chocolate.
Okay, he was saying right by reception we have a refreshment area. Okay, right by reception. So where is reception? This one is reception, and he was saying we have right by reception. So right. Okay, so this side is right side, and so that's mean this one is refreshment area. So for question number 6 we need to choose, okay, refreshment area D. Okay, so we need to choose option D. Okay, and he was let's listen it.
What a good idea.
Beyond that, as you can see, there's the main gym area. The treadmills are by the window, so you get a great view across the river.
Okay, he was saying beyond that you can see there is the gym area. Beyond that you can see the gym area, the treadmills area by the window, so you get a great view across the river. So we just need to, here there is no option like for gym, but there is an option for treadmill. So what do you think we should select for question 7? Option A, obviously. Okay, because beyond that is option C, and option C means treadmill. This option E. Okay, that's why I chose option E. Now let's listen it for the next one.
The treadmills are by the window, so you get a great view across the river. Opposite them are various machines, and at the far end you can see the free weights area.
Okay, opposite them are the various machines, and at the far end you can see the free weight area. Various machine. So is there any various machine? Various machine. Okay, so this one is various machine, and he was also saying that and at the far end you can see the wet area. So what do you think we should select? As he was saying that opposite them various machine, and at the end, at the far end you can see the free wet area. So obviously we should select option A for question 8. Okay, so these are the machine. Okay, now let's listen. So these are the machine, and these are the machine, I think, and this one is like for uh, free wet area. Okay, now let's listen it for the next one. I mean question number 9.
If you look at the far end, you'll see two doors. The one on the left is the ladies' changing area, and the one on the right is the men's.
And the swimming pool?
There's a door in each changing area that leads to the swimming pool.
The health spa is upstairs, isn't it?
Okay, he was saying if you look at the far end you will see two doors. The left is ladies changing area, and the one on the right is the men's. So what do you think we should select? Ladies changing area is this one, option 9. Okay, so option 9 would be B. Okay, is there another map? Let's zoom in it. Okay, and decide which pair of pie chart illustrate the membership of the gym and spa, and uh, write the appropriate letter on your answer sheet. Okay, so here is the four option A, B, C, D. Okay, so we have to choose the appropriate one. So it's a, let's read the each option. Membership here, male, female, membership of both spa and gym, male, female. Okay, membership and membership of both spa, gym. It's 50-50 for both, I mean for spa and gym. And here it's membership like for male portion is like less than female. Here here also it's female portion is a greater proportion than male, but membership of both spa and okay, so here both are male for membership of both uh, spa and gym. In both side, female are greater. Female have a greater proportion here, but here it's a contradict. Okay, and here it's also female proportion is highest, and here it's one is highest, but another one is similar, like equal. Okay, so we need to listen it.
Yes, there's a flight of stairs leading from each changing room to the spa area. Oh, I forgot to mention that there's a sauna beside each changing area. Our members love using those after a workout.
How many members are there?
About 300 people, of which 200 are members of both the gym and health spa. Only about half of those people come regularly.
Okay, so the lady was asking how many members are there, and the man was replying that about 300 people, of which 200 are members of both the gym and the health spa. So about 300 people, of which about 300 of people, about which uh, 200 members are both in gym and health spa. So I think option C would be the correct answer, because if you like think like female and male are like 300 people, and most of them, like as you were saying, 200 people, 200 members are uh, members of both of gym and health. So it's like similar with option C. So that's why I choose this one. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. No more than 2 words for each answer. Okay. Complete the following sentence using no more than 2 words for each one. So we are allowed to just write 2 words. Okay, and let's highlight some keyword for this question. The university has produced a blah blah to inform student. Okay, let's listen it.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20.
We understand the importance accommodation plays in student life, which is why we aim to provide you with not only the best possible range and standard of housing, but also advice and assistance on the whole accommodation process. With our help, you should find yourself somewhere you want to live and get settled in with as little hassle as possible. Throughout the guide that I have just handed out, you will find details of the wide range of accommodation available at the university and how you can apply for it. We hope that the information we provide will assist you to make your choices.
Okay, let's listen it one more time.
Student life, which is why we aim to provide you with not only the best possible range and standard of housing, but also advice and assistance on the whole accommodation process. With our help, you should find yourself somewhere you want to live and get settled in with as little hassle as possible. Throughout the guide that I have just handed out, you will find details of the wide range of accommodation available at the university and how you can apply for it.
Okay, so the answer would be guide. Okay, let me explain it to you. As she was saying a lot of things, but let's explain it from the exact line. As she was saying, throughout the guide that I have just handed, you will find detail of the wide range of accommodation available at the university and how you can apply for it. So what was like the thing as she was talking about? Okay, so she was talking about the guide. Okay, and she was saying like that throughout the guide that I handed. Okay, that I have handed. So that means she was talking about the guide. So that's the answer of the guide. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. All created, all catered and self-catered accommodation is closed to the blah blah. Let's
We
listen.
hope that the information we provide will assist you to make your choices, but please contact us at any time if you have any questions. Our accommodation ranges from the catered to the self-catered, the modern to the traditional, and is based over 25 sites across the city, all of which are located within a short walk or bus ride of the city centre. First, let's look at catered accommodation.
Okay, uh, she was saying that all of which are located within a short walk or bus ride of the city center. So that means it's close to city center. Okay, so that's what the answer would be. City center. To city center. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Uh, on your answer sheet, write. Okay. If the statement applies to catered accommodation, if the statement applies to self-catered accommodation, if the statement applies to private accommodation, if the statement is not mentioned at all by the accommodation officers. Okay, officer. Let's read the question. Meals are included in the rent. This okay. Let's listen it for this one first.
Moving away from home. First, let's look at catered accommodation. Moving away from home for the first time can be as scary as it is exciting. Our traditional catered accommodation makes things easier for you, with meals included in the rent and a comprehensive
With meals include with meals include in the rent. So the answer would be option A, because in option A we can see that if it was saying like that, if the statement applies to catered accommodation, okay. So and here it says that like in the question, meals are included in the rent. So we already listen that, okay. That's why the answer would be option A. Now let's listen. This is the best accommodation for people who want to choose when they blah blah.
support network to help you adjust. And with around 2,000 students in catered accommodation, you'll have ample opportunity to make new friends. If you like choosing what and when to eat, self-catering will be ideal. More than half of our new students live in self-catered accommodation, which offers a taste of real independence, plus the benefit.
Okay, at the first she was saying if you like choosing what and when to get eat, self-catering will be the ideal. That's mean the option B would be the answer. Okay, that's why I already selected it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Most student Okay, most students live in this kind of accommodation. Let's listen it. Which accommodation? Okay.
Of a sociable and supportive environment. You can choose from either self-catering flats, larger occupancy residences, or university-managed accommodation for one person, flats, couples or families. Then there's private accommodation. University accommodation isn't for everyone. If for some reason you don't get a place or would prefer to rent privately, we also have a register of university-approved accommodation and can offer advice and support if you want to rent private flats or lodgings in the city.
Okay.
Which offers a tape of our new and when opportunity around two and a comprehensive support network to help you adjust. And with around 2,000 students in catered accommodation, you'll have ample opportunity to make new friends. If you like choosing what and when to eat, self-catering will be ideal. It offers a live environment. You can choose from either self-catering flats, larger occupancy residences, or university-managed accommodation for one person, flats, couples or families. Then there's private accommodation. University accommodation isn't for everyone. If for some reason you don't get a place or would prefer to rent privately, we also have a register of
Okay, she was saying if for some reason you don't get a place or would prefer to rent privately, we also have a university. Okay, so that means the answer would be option D. Because in option D we can say that if the statement is not mentioned at all on the accommodation offers, so it's like you cannot here's nothing about like that if you cannot manage your accommodation, then they'll provide your something. But she was saying in audio, but we can't see anything related um, in this options. Okay, so that's why we chose this one, because there is no option. Okay, that's why we choose option D. But we already like we're going to listen like one. This is the most expensive type of accommodation. Okay, let's listen it.
at a place or would prefer to rent privately, we also have a register of university-approved accommodation and can offer advice and support if you want to rent private flats or lodgings in the city. Now,
So we can see any option like that for question number 16. So now we have to choose option D again. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, next we have another map. Okay, it's okay. So decide which letter on the map show the location of each of the following university halls of residence. Okay, here we can see Melbourne halls, Grampian halls, Brecon halls, Perrine halls. Okay, now it's a campus here we can see, and option A, B, C, where is C? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, but here we can see it's here it's campus and Liverpool and Liverpool Road, Dart Line. Here you can see road, it's road. All these are road. Hall Road and London Road and Main, and this one is Manchester Road. Okay, and this one is Dover Road. Okay, and this is Humber, and this. Okay, let's listen it.
here you can see a map of families. Then there's private accommodation. University accommodation isn't for everyone. We also have and support. Here you can see a map of the university accommodation nearest to the campus. Malvern Halls are located on Humber Road, between Severn Road and Thames Road. This is
Okay, she was saying Malvern Halls are located on Humber Road between Severn Road and Thames Road. So, what is Malvern Road? Halls and located she was saying Malvern Halls are located Humber Road and between Severn Road, Thomas Road. Okay, let's okay. Severn Road between Thomas Road. So option B would be the answer. Okay, as she was saying. Now let's listen it for the next one. Grampian Halls.
is the tallest halls of residence, being a 25-story block of student flats. You can get a good view of the campus from here. Grampian Halls are also located between Severn Road and Thames Road, where Liverpool Lane joins the two.
Okay, she was saying that Grampian Halls are also located between Severn Road and Thomas Road, where Liverpool Lane join the two. So Lane. Okay, this option D would be the answer, because it's between Severn Road and Thomas Road, and she was saying where the Lane Join. So this is the land. So that's what the answer would be option D. Okay. Now let's listen it for Brecon Halls.
Don't get Liverpool Road confused with Liverpool Lane, as I just did. It's on the south side of the street. Brecon Halls are between the South Gate and the West Gate. They're very slightly nearer the West Gate, actually. These halls are...
Okay, now she was saying Brecon Halls are between South Gate and West Gate. So where is South Gate and West Gate? Southgate and Westgate, and she was saying also that they are very slightly near the Westgate actually. So um, so this is Westgate and this is Southgate, and she was saying that um, Brecon Brecon Halls are between Southgate and Westgate. So this one is West and this one is Southgate, and she was saying that they are very slightly near the West Gate. So West Gate is this one. So what do you think the answer should select? I think it's this one, option H. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Uh, Sperrin Halls. Okay, let's listen it.
popular because they are newer and the rooms are somewhat larger than in older halls. Sperrin Halls are nearest to the South Gate, on Avon Road, but not opposite it.
Okay, she was saying that Sperrin Halls are near to the North Gate, South Gate. So first it was mistake, but then she was saying it's nearest to South Gate on the Avon Road, but not opposite. So what is South Gate? So this one is South Gate, and this one is South Gate, and she was saying on the Avon Road. So this one is Avon Road, and she was saying but not opposite. So this one is opposite, but this one is not opposite. So option F would be the answer. Okay. Okay. That's all about part 2. Let's jump into part 3. Okay. So here's another instruction for us. No more than 3 words for each answer. And let's highlight some code for this question. When did Jenny arrive at the university last? Arrive at university last. Let's listen it.
Now listen carefully.
Hi, Tom. How are you? Have you been here long?
Hi, Jenny. I'm fine. I arrived yesterday on Sunday. How about you?
I got here last week on Wednesday. No, sorry, just a minute. What day is it today? Thursday, not Wednesday.
Why did you come so...
So Thursday would be the answer, not Wednesday, as she was saying. So let's write Thursday. Thursday, okay. Now let's listen it for question number 22. Let's highlight some code. What is Tom going to study? Tom going to study blah blah. Let's listen it.
so early? We don't have to be here until tomorrow. Couldn't wait to be free from your parents, I bet.
Very funny. I know I came a bit earlier than most people, but I wanted to move my things into my flat and take a look around the campus and the town. So, did you decide to take English literature in the end?
No, I changed my mind and decided on European history instead. At school, you said you were going to take geography.
Okay. So he was saying that I changed my mind and decide on European history. So European history will be the answer. European history. Okay. Now what is Jenny going to study?
Decided on European history instead. At school, you said you were going to take geography, right?
Yes, although I want.
So the answer would be geography. Geography. PHY. Okay, we are out of time. Let's submit it and let's replay this one again.
You will hear.
Okay, geography. Okay, since we are out of time, I need to re-click each answer like one more time. Okay, just give me a few seconds. It was D, we need to select D, it was E, we need to select E, it was A, we need to select A, it was B, we need to select B, it was C, and it was A, we need to select A again, it was B, we need to select B again, it was D, we need to select D, it was D, we need to select D again. Now it's B, we need to select B, it's D, we need to select D again, it's H, we need to select H, it's F, we need to select F again, it's okay, story, geography. Okay, let's start. And what two item have the student been given? Two item student been given. Let's listen it.
Why did you your paper?
Can.
Oh, I chose to take geography, right?
Yes, although I was also considering geology.
Sounds the same to me.
Well, I guess there are similarities, but they're not quite the same. What kind of information have you been given about your courses?
Well, not much. I've got my timetable and a basic reading list.
Yeah, me too. I've been given a list of books to start reading. I think there are 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah,
Okay, so you was saying that the I've got my timetable and basic reading list. So the answer would be timetable, timetable as okay, no more than, so we are allowed to write two words, timetable and reading list. Or like book list. Okay, that's right, reading list. Okay, so we are just allowed to write three words. That's why already we wrote three words. Okay, but cannot use here and. So if we use and, it will be four words all in total. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. No more than two words enter number for each gap. Okay, Tom's Hall's residence is named. Okay, Tom's Hall's is named blah blah. Let's listen it.
Morning.
It says here that the title of the first lecture is The Victorian Legacy. Sounds good. How about you?
I've got global population distribution. Intriguing. Where are you living?
I got a place in the halls of residence at Wish Lane Hall.
Wish, as in make a wish.
Funny name, eh?
I'm at Bridge Road halls of residence.
That's very close to the university campus, isn't it? My place is a bit further away.
Can you walk, or do you need to take a bus?
My
Halls of as in make a wish.
place in the halls of residence at Wish Lane Hall.
Wish, as
Okay, so the answer would be Wishland. As he was saying, I got a place that the halls of residence at Wishland Hall. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Tom's accommodation is blah blah from the campus.
as in make a wish.
Funny name, eh?
I'm at Bridge Road halls of residence.
That's very close to the university campus, isn't it? My place is a bit further away.
Can you walk, or do you need to take a bus?
I can walk, but it takes about 30 minutes. There's a bus. I guess I'll walk.
Okay, so the answer would be 30-minute walk. Minute walk. As he was saying, I can walk, but it takes 30 minutes about. Okay, so that's the answer of the 30-minute walk from the campus. Okay, now Janie's accommodation is near the campus, close to blah blah. Let's listen it.
If it's not a bad day, and take the bus if it's raining.
I'll think of you when I'm taking the 5-minute walk from my hall to the lecture theatre.
I'm sure you will. At least I've got somewhere to stay if I don't want to walk home.
Cheeky.
Is your hall near the main gate or the north gate?
The North Gate. Hey, I'm on my way to the
The answer will be North Gate, as she was saying. North Gate. Okay, now let's listen for question number 28 to 30. Decide which three items Jenny needs to buy and write appropriate letters on the answer sheet in any order. 3 items Jenny need to buy. Let's listen it.
Coming?
Sure. What are you going to buy? Food?
Well, I might pick up a few things, but I was really going to buy some notebooks for taking lecture notes, seminar notes, and some printer paper.
So she was saying notebooks, printer paper, and she was saying also I need a few uh, okay, maybe we need to listen it one more time.
Buy some
Food?
Well, I might pick up a few things, but I was really going to buy some notebooks for taking lecture notes, seminar notes, and some printer paper.
That's a good idea. I need a few.
Okay, there is no seminar paper. Okay, but printer paper is there, so that's why I already select this one. So let's listen more for the remaining one.
Binders to put my notes in.
That's a good idea. I'll get a couple too.
Binders to put.
Printer paper.
That's a good idea. I need a few binders to put my notes in.
That's a good idea. I'll get a couple too.
Okay, binders. As the man was saying, that's a good idea. I need a few binders to put my notes. And she was saying, that's good. I will get a couple too. So these three things she will buy. So that's all about our part 3. Let's move on to the next one. Next part and the last part. Okay, question number 31 to 40. Okay, choose the letter A, B or C. Okay, write your answer below boxes. Write your answer in boxes 31 to 33 on your answer sheet. Which pie chart showed the age of the Asian student surveyed? Okay, let's listen it.
Pencils? No, I've got a few.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Welcome to this presentation on the results of our survey of Asian students in Australia, the UK and the US. Australia is growing in popularity among Asian students, while the UK and the US are losing ground as the place to study for a degree, according to our international survey. Our research is based on the views of 1,500 undergraduates from 10 Asian countries studying in Britain, the USA and Australia. 60% of the students were aged between 18 and 21, and 30% were between 22 and 25.
So I hope you got the answer. As he was saying, 18 and 20. He was saying student were aged between 18 and 21. So 18 and 21, and he was also saying 30% are between 22 and 25. So 30% are 22 and 25. Okay, so that's why the answer would be option C. It's like 30% and 60%. Okay, but these are not the similar as he was saying. Okay, which pie chart shows the main reasons Asian student wanted to study abroad?
In 10 students cited a better quality of education as their main reason for 4 in 10. 30% were but students were aged between 18 and 21, and 30% were between 22 and 25. 4 in 10 students cited a better quality of education as their main reason for studying away from their home country. About 27% said they were doing it to broaden their experience and because they were attracted by the cultural experience of living in a foreign country.
Okay, the answer would be, I think, option B. Okay, so as he was saying, 4 in 10 students cited a better quality of education, their main reason for studying away from their home country. About 27% and said they were doing it abroad, broaden their experience, and because they are attracted by the culture's experience of. So I think this one would be the answer. Okay, now, okay, which bar chart show the percentage of Asian students who made Australia their first choice destination? Okay, let's listen it.
Business, commerce and marketing are still by far the most dominant field of study, attracting almost 2/5 of students. 3/4 of Asian students polled in Australia said it was their first choice, compared to less than half when we conducted the same survey in the year 2000. From an Australian perspective, it's very positive because more and more students are consciously choosing Australia rather than it being a second choice. The UK and American parts of the survey.
Okay, the answer would be option A, because he was saying 3/4 of Asian students enrolled in Australia and said it was their first choice, compared to less than half when uh, okay, I'm sorry, less than half when we counted the same survey in the year 2000. Okay, from an Australia perspective, it's very positive because more and more students are consciously choosing Australia rather than it being a second choice. So that's what the answer will be option A. Now let's listen for question number 34. Let's highlight it. Okay. Here's another instruction for us. Answer the following questions using a number for each answer. So we are just allowed to write like a number. Approximately how many foreign students enrolled in Australia in 2000? Okay, let's listen it.
Show that they are no longer the preferred price-sensitive students. Australia's overseas students' enrolments have doubled since the year 2000 to 200,000 in 2006, at a time when they have declined.
Okay, so the answer would be the answer would be 100,000. Okay, 100,000. As he was saying, Australia's overseas student enrolled have doubled the 2000 to 200,000 in 2006. So Australia overseas student enrolled have doubled since. So that means 100,000, 200,000 is double of 100,000. That's why the answer would be 100,000. Okay, let's listen for question number 35. How much did Australia's education export rise by year? Let's
In
listen.
the US and the UK's share of the global market is declining. Reflecting this increase, Australia's education exports rose 17.8% last year.
17.8%. As he was saying, okay, let's move to the next one. No more than 2 words or number for each gap. It became harder to get blah blah for the UA. Okay,
Price-sensitive students. Australia's overseas students' enrolments have doubled since the year 2000 to 200,000 in 2006, at a time when they have declined in the US and the UK's share of the global market is declining. Reflecting this increase, Australia's education exports rose 17.8% last year and were valued at more than $5 billion for the first 9 months of 2006. In the United States, a clampdown on foreign students following the terrorist attacks on September the 11th has made many Asian students feel unwelcome. As a result, applications to American universities have declined. This could happen in the UK. If students find it hard to get visas, they could question whether
to get visa. So the answer would be visa. Okay. Now, blah blah of Asian student gave lower study fees. Let's listen to
the country really wanted them. Another factor in Australia's growing popularity was the wish of some members of the growing Asian middle class to settle in the country after studying there. The cost of study and value for money also featured highly on the list of reasons students gave for choosing Australia as a study destination. much higher than in Britain. 34% said they selected Australia because they thought living expenses were relatively less expensive, and 20% made their decision because tuition fees were cheaper. Quality remained the big
20% would be the answer, okay? As you was saying, 20% they selected Australia because they thought living expenses were relevantly less expensive, and 20% made their decision because tuition fee were cheaper. Okay, let's listen for question number 38. Asian student rank Australia number blah blah in terms of educational quality.
biggest drawcard for students wanting to study in Australia, reinforcing the critical importance of its reputation overseas. According to new research, Asian students still rank the US and Britain as having the highest quality universities, but Australia rated third.
Australia rated third, so the answer would be third, or you can just write 3. Okay, number 3. And blah blah programmers are unlikely to reduce the number of study going abroad in the future. Let's listen it.
Ahead of other destinations like Canada, New Zealand and Germany. Despite the emergence of transnational education programs, 81% of students did not consider undertaking a foreign degree in their home country. It seems that the concern that these programs are going to diminish the number of foreign students is a bit premature. Only 4% of those enrolled in Australia had studied overseas before, a figure we attribute to an emerging middle class of Asian students wanting to study offshore. In the past, many Asian students had come from their home country's elite, high-income families whose parents had studied abroad. What we've got now is an emerging middle class who maybe haven't travelled before and whose parents were not educated overseas. Our from to 4% of those enrolled foreign students is a bit premature. Only diminish the number of. It seems that the concern that these of foreign programs, 81% of students did not consider undertaking a foreign degree in their home country. Percent of students did not consider undertaking a foreign degree in their home country. It seems that the concern that these programs are going to diminish the number of foreign students is a bit premature. Only 4% of those enrolled in Australia is a bit the consider national Canada, but Australians still rank the US and Britain as having the highest quality universities, but Australia rated third, but ahead of other destinations like Canada, New Zealand and Germany. Despite the emergence of transnational education programs, 81%.
Okay, so the answer would be trans and national education. Trans national education. Okay, would be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 40. Asian students are increasingly using blah blah to help arrange. Let's listen it.
Of students did not consider undertaking a foreign degree in their home country. It seems that the concern that these programs are going to diminish the number of foreign students is a bit premature. Only 4% of those enrolled in Australia had studied overseas before, a figure we attribute to an emerging middle class of Asian students wanting to study offshore. In the past, many Asian students had come from their home country's elite, high-income families whose parents had studied abroad. What we've got now is an emerging middle class who maybe haven't travelled before and whose parents were not educated overseas. Our study also shows that students rely more on education agents than in the past. With
Education agent. So education agent would be the answer. Education. Yes, education. So that's all about today's lesson. Let's submit it and check out how much we scored. Okay. Okay, we got 9 out of 9, but there is mistake. Our 39 questions are correct out of 40, but one is mistake. So let's check which one we got mistake. Okay, this one, timetable and reading book list, but we answered time table, reading list. But I don't think this one is wrong. It's a problem with your websites. Okay, that's all about today's lesson. Hope see you in the next class, and bye for then.